Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So last night I watched To My Star. I watched all 9 episodes. I've been meaning to watch this show for a while. It just got away from me. I was doing other shows, doing other content, and it just got away from me. But like yesterday, I wasn't feeling my best. I've been feeling my best all week actually, and it was like 1,000 degrees yesterday in New York City, and it was just so like ugh. So I decided let me watch something to keep my mind off of things, and I watched To My Star. I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Normally in these videos, I go character by character, just like in the past videos, kind of reviewing each character, character analysis, and get my overall thoughts on the show. Now I will do that today as well, but there's only a handful of characters, so the video might be kind of short, or I might rant on longer than I probably should. So please bear with me. Um, and yeah, I'm just excited because this show was I enjoyed it. I've been you know these Korean dramas have really been doing it for me. Like Semantic Error and Blooming. I love Blooming. That's like should be the blueprint. And then I watched To My Star. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so pleasant and so refreshing. You know what I mean? Now I will say one of the things I have noticed in these Korean dramas, the few I've seen, that there's a stock character type always. These stories come off like there's a manic pixie dream love interest almost, at least for the most part. Typically, a manic pixie dream girl, you don't see much of her. You only know her through her love interest, the main lead of the show or the movie, and she's like whimsical and quirky and fun and just has a lust for life and a good positive energy versus the main lead who is more stoic, down on his luck, miserable, depressed type of person that they kind of, you know, elevate and change their life. And I feel like in these Korean dramas, that's like the stock character. Again, I haven't seen that many. I've only seen like maybe 4 or 5 of these queer Korean dramas, and that's kind of like what I'm picking up. I don't mind it, but I hope they switch up soon character types because it does come off a little bit of enemies to lovers, which is mostly all of it now. Now I'm thinking about, it, especially with those type of characters, they're kind of like they kind of butt heads or kind of don't get along, and then they kind of fall in love. I would love to see friends to lovers or something a little different, But for now, it's fine. It's fine. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so I don't know how to pronounce everyone's name, but their picture will be up here. The first person we will be checking out, I'm on mydramalist.com, and it says here he's a guest role. Young In Woo. He was the guy in the show. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, spoilers. He was a guy who was an actor who basically got into a fight at the bar, at the restaurant, and lied and said he was attacked by our main lead, Kong. And he let them, the press, everyone believe that, and he started to get more popular because of that, sympathy because of that. And this character is very interesting because, first of all, the actor that playing this actor, did a great job. I think we only saw him in one episode fully, and he had me shook with his performance. He had me shook. He was very much like, "Can you?" I reason I did this is because it helps my career. I got a first lead role in since I've debuted 10 years ago. Like I feel like these characters who are doing our main lead wrong feel like they try to justify it a bit by he has everything. You have all these riches, you have all this fame. Even if you look bad now, you can bounce back from this. It'll be fine. Let me have this. I need this to for my career, for my whatever I got going on. And I'm like, dang, y'all really playing this boy, and like he owes y'all this because y'all can't make it or something. Y'all are struggling. And you want to exploit him, and he should be okay with it. That is so odd to me. But they are bold. Him and another character I'm gonna mention later on. They were very bold with that. I was like, you're wilding out. You're wilding out. Um, so even though this character is an antagonist, is a bad guy, I liked the character. I liked the actor playing him. It was very done very well. I was so convinced that he was like slightly unhinged. He kept going in and out of being like crunk, but then also like no 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 and begging like he and I was so compelled by this character, even though we only saw him for one episode. But his character loomed around because he was the reason why Homeboy got all this bad press recently. And come to find out, it was all fake. He was all fake. He was lying, and he just wanted to, boost his career, and it worked. And like, I was shook. I was shook. Next character we have is Lee. At first, she got on my nerves because you know why? Because it was very much like she's a reporter, so she had to be nosy, but she was just being nosy and nosier as it got on, and she became a little more likable and like chill about it because she was a reporter, but she wasn't necessarily antagonistic. She just came off that way because she's trying to get the story, trying to get the tea, and just sometimes the tea she was trying to get was just general information. Like she was pressing Han about where Kong is he in your house, what's going on here, what's going on there. Like she was really just, and she kept popping up at the agency and lying, talking about she knew Homeboy from back in the day. Like it was a lot. Like she was doing a lot, and I was like, girl, can you back up? But by the end, I was like, okay, I like her. She was cool. She became the best girl at the end, and I love that for her and us. Next we have is how you pronounce his name? Beck. How you pronounce his name? You guys see him on the screen. Um, I like this character. He, I feel mostly indifferent. His role wasn't that big. Um, I don't know if like he could have been taken out the story. Nothing would have changed. He is the manager of our lead of Kong, but the owner of the company also came out very like a manager like. But I did like his character. He was nice enough. He was cool enough. I like how he was someone else that we can bounce off our reaction to because we had two characters mainly reacting to Han's demeanor, how cold he was. He was another person that kind of felt the iciness of him. He felt, and he was also very supportive. I love when when the news broke out that Kong is innocent. He didn't beat that boy up with the footage and stuff. He and the manager guy, the owner guy, hugged him, and it was just so nice. It was so heartwarming. I really, I like this character. Like he didn't contribute too much, but he wasn't also a nuisance. He played his role how he was. He was just the manager, but also a good friend, and I like that. And I like that a lot. Next we have is our entertainment company owner guy, Kim. For some reason, I like how, because I guess the comedic part of the show was how people treated him. People hanging up the phone on him or popping up on him. No one's telling him nothing. His responses were so over the top and dramatic. Like he was so stressed all the time. I, on paper, I guess I would have not liked his character too much, but in practice, I kind of enjoyed him. I kind of enjoyed him. Um, his plot line with old girl, the reporter. I like that dynamic. I like his dynamic with Kong. Um, from what I understand, from what I remember, even though I watched it last night, I am forgetting some pieces. He is the owner of the house that Han lives in. He knew his parents, I believe, so he allows him to live there in the unit in that apartment complex. Um, I remember on the episode where they had the party and they're all dancing. I was like, oh, he's so cool. And at the end, when everything worked out, he he was like, y'all stressing me out. First of all, you want to leave. You gave your security deposit back, but now you want to stay. Y'all living together. But he was supportive. I appreciate his support and how he handled himself and how he dealt with all these people always bothering him and not telling him stuff or hanging up on him. I like his character. Next we have is the other Kim. He is, I believe, the owner of that cafe that the boys work at. This threw me through a loop. Now, despite what happened, I don't dislike his character. I mean, he's also another antagonistic character. However, I like how they did that because even though we don't spend that much time with him, we do spend time with him through the other characters, and we get to know things through him. And he's another good person to bounce stuff off of, another character for them to interact with. But then he became like this semi twist villain at the end where he was trying to sell the picture of our leads kissing, and he basically blackmailed Kong into paying him so he can get out of bankruptcy and so he won't lose his restaurant, which that was wild. That was so wild. But the fact that he outwardly explained his plan, like, hey, I'm going to, you know, either sell these photos to the tabloids or blackmail Kong so I can get the this money I need. And he was like, you need to help me out, Han, because we started this together, and you really don't care for him, and like da 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 da. Just want to throw his help. He wanted Han to help him with this scheme to get rich. I was blown away. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Now, typically, this type of thing would have been like a reveal. Like maybe it would have been something linked or someone's like pressuring them and like trying to blackmail them, and they find out it's him all along. That would be like the typical way to do it, but they didn't do that. It came out of nowhere almost. Now we did see the restaurant sometimes empty, sometimes business wasn't picking up. So it kind of implied that this might have happened. It wasn't unrealistic or out of nowhere per se for this to happen, for him to do this. I was just shook by it because he just seemed like a stand up guy. He didn't seem like I didn't think the story was going this way. We already had one scandal going on with that actor guy, and that was it. But then we had another one with someone else trying to take advantage of the situation and throw their friend under the bus, their coworker, their homie. I was gooped and gagged. I sure was. I sure was. I was like, oh my god, not him playing him, but then at the end he decided to close the shop down anyways, return the money. And then he spoke English to that girl. This is one girl. She didn't even on here on drama list. I'm not sure what her name is, but she was cussing. I was like, oh, who is this? I think she only had like two scenes, but I was shook by it. And him over her cussing and speaking English, like I say abroad, I know English. But I do like his character, even though he became a bad guy. I can see, I sympathize with him. I guess I wish he didn't do this. Like it was awful that he did this, but I sympathize and I don't. In the end, he decided to do the right thing. So I'm like, okay, there's a redemption there. So let's keep it moving. All right, Han. Okay, so we have our one half of our main leads. Okay, so his character, he's one of those, like I said, the stock character of being very cold and aloof and stoic, man a few words. You know what? His character, I like these kind of characters in some time because I hate the characters that are like this, but they're also jerks. He's not friendly per se, but he's also not rude. He's not arrogant. He's not, he just expresses his annoyance when he is annoyed and rightfully so. Some characters be acting a fool, acting out. He just wants to be alone and not being bothered, and I can relate to that. That's how I like him so much. He's very much to himself. He doesn't want to shake things up. He doesn't want to cause any problems for anyone else or himself. Like he's like, look, this is a lot. You're doing a lot. So having Kong come into his life and be annoying on a regular basis really shook up his whole his whole life, his whole dynamic. You know, one of the reasons he was pushing against Kong because he was like, I don't want to be in any drama. You're just I'm not like the people you hang out with. I'm not the type of person you're really disturbing the peace right now. I'm not with it. And I can relate. I can relate. I love how he expressed himself and told how he felt about things because having someone come in and not clean up, having someone come in making noise, having someone come into his house and just being disturbing the thing, and he just so annoyed by that and expressing that. They call him cold and icy, and I'm like, okay, I get your perception of that. However, y'all are out of nowhere disturbing his peace. No one told him he's getting a new roommate. He just popped up. Ain't no one, y'all ain't saying nothing to him. Oops. By the way, this actor guy is coming to live with you. He's every right to be cold, but as we saw, he thawed out during the show, came a little bit more warmer, came a little bit more, and I like that. Even though he still is kind of the same, he did change by the end a bit, and I like that. I like the change he had made. He's smiling more at the end, affectionate. That's scene in the bed, where they were in the bed and they were like wrestling. I was like, ooh, what's going on here? Now, cause how he was during the whole show, I expect him to be like that flirty. However, if they're booed up now at this point at the end, so like it makes sense for him to change up how he is with him. And I was like, hold on, I really like this character. I do wish maybe the episodes were a little bit longer to get more of his perspective on Homeboy. Like I wish because what these shows kind of do. Now I know they only have limited time, only 9 episodes and 15 minutes, so they can't really dive into this. But I really wish there were some pivotal moments that were stronger for him to start falling for Kong in some way. You can tell it was happening, but it was subtle, at least coming from him, and maybe both of them. It just seemed like they were hanging out. So when Homeboy confessed his feelings for him, it made sense. Like, oh yeah, of course Kong likes him. They spent all this time together, and we've been told that this is a couple at the end. So in our mind, we're like, oh, it makes sense. But I wish there was a little bit more reason, a little more time spent to showcase the growing feelings. I feel like that's what's missing from some of these dramas. There is not enough reason for the characters to like each other per se. Even though they do have a reason, it's I just want a little bit more, especially from his point of view. He just warmed up and got used to him being around and his like ways and got comfortable with him. But I wish there was something he was doing, like he showed him something or he did something that he opened his eyes up and opened his heart up to him a bit more, like a really really good reason. Despite him coming around and wanting to be with him, I really wish he just kind of there was something else going on. But maybe not. I mean, it was fine. Like I got the point enough. I just wish we had a little bit more time to marinate a little bit into it. All right, and our last character we have is Kong, our actor in the show, celebrity. This guy. Now, though initially when you first see him, he does come off like a typical celebrity, but it's one of those things that it comes with the territory, like him saying like, "Oh, I can't do pictures, I can do an autograph," or like, "Yes, you know who I am. It's me." Like he's very like a celebrity, like what you think a celebrity is, but then he was also very just down to earth and fun. He was annoying, I will say that he's wilding out, but the fact that his heart was on his sleeve, he also gave slightly himbo vibes. He's very in touch with his feelings. And his character dealing with two people trying to, play him, the actor guy, and then the cafe owner, two people he was associated with, betraying him, and he is still like he seemed like he might be used to it for some reason. 'Cause he was not like he wasn't like obviously he didn't like what was happening. However, he was very just chill about it. Like he was like, you know what, I'm about to expose you. I got the footage. Here's the money. You trying to blackmail me. Here's the money. I hope I transfer the money over to you. Here you go. He was so calm about it. Even though he did say he did, even though he was calm and for the most part he was just trying to just chill for a minute. Maybe he needed a break. But at the end, he ended up confronting both people and kind of dealing with the situation. I like that he did. And then him not giving up on Han spoke a lot to my spirit. Like, oh, he really came back for this boy that keeps pushing him away. He's like, no, 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 you're an actor. You're only here for a limited time, so there's no need for us to get close. You don't really feel how you feel. You're playing with me. And he kept reassuring him, like, I'm not playing with you. I actually like you. This is real. This is how I feel. That's on period. My heart hurts leaving you. And then at that, I'm like, I was gooped and gagged. He was just so expressive and really, and it speaks to his character. His character's always expressive, always just talking a lot and just, it's almost, he by default, he's like very charming, even though he's also annoying, if that makes sense. Have you met people like that? They're so annoying, but they're also charming and they do things you're kind of like, oh. It's kind of like a child, you know, bothering you about something, but like, it's so adorable to see. You're like, oh, okay, well, this is precious. I love this. He gives that kind of vibe, and I think that's why I like his character so much. Even though I'm not a big fan of characters being annoying and bothering someone else who wants to be left alone, but I have to admit, he really, I warmed up to him too. I was like, oh my god, he's aggravating. But then I was like, okay, all right, my guy, you are actually factually the best. Now I did see that there's going to be a second season or a movie, or is there a movie already or a second season? How will that go? Because on here it says someone leaves. Um, on my drama list, someone. It's called To My Star 2: Untold Stories. Don't know if it's out yet. I don't think so. Is it a movie? It says the second season of To My Star, the story will unfold as one of the lovers goes missing, having only a note behind. Oh, that sounds horrible. I don't like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the show. I really, really liked it. And one thing I really liked about this show is the sound design. I was shook. Like hearing the movement, like hearing this, hearing the cutting of the food during the cooking YouTube channel thingy for the or the restaurant things scenes with the cooking stuff, or hearing the unzipping of the bag, it was so crisp and clean, and I love that. I'm not one of those sound guys. I don't like ASMR type of stuff, but like for some reason, the sound of everything was just. Oh, it says here June 5th. This is gonna drop. To My Star 2. Okay, June 5th. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think below. What other Korean dramas I should check out? Let me know below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one.